Away to the south.
На юг.
Away to the south. Dorothy wept bitterly.
Дороти горько заплакала.
Dorothy wept bitterly. At the passing of her hope to get home to Kansas again.
Когда снова угасла ее надежда вернуться домой в Канзас.
At the passing of her hope to get home to Kansas again. But when she thought it all over.
Но когда она все обдумала,
But when she thought it all over. She was glad she had not gone up in a balloon.
она была рада, что не взлетела на воздушном шаре.
She was glad she had not gone up in a balloon. And she also felt sorry at losing Oz.
Ей также было жаль потерять Оза,
And she also felt sorry at losing Oz. And so did her companions.
как и ее спутникам.
And so did her companions. The Tin Woodman came to her and said.
К ней подошел железный дровосек и сказал:
The Tin Woodman came to her and said. Truly, I should be ungrateful.
«Воистину, я был бы неблагодарным,
Truly, I should be ungrateful. If I failed to mourn for the man.
если бы не оплакивал человека,
If I failed to mourn for the man. Who gave me my lovely heart.
давшего мне мое прекрасное сердце.
Who gave me my lovely heart. I should like to cry a little.
Я хотел бы немного поплакать,
I should like to cry a little. Because Oz is gone.
потому что Оз ушел,
Because Oz is gone. If you will kindly wipe away my tears.
если вы любезно вытрете мои слезы,
If you will kindly wipe away my tears. So that I shall not rust.
чтобы я не заржавел.
So that I shall not rust. With pleasure.
С удовольствием.
With pleasure. She answered, and brought a towel at once.
Ответила она и тотчас же принесла полотенце.
She answered, and brought a towel at once. Then the Tin Woodman wept for several minutes.
Потом железный дровосек поплакал несколько минут,
Then the Tin Woodman wept for several minutes. And she watched the tears carefully.
а она внимательно следила за слезами.
And she watched the tears carefully. And wiped them away with the towel.
И вытирала их полотенцем.
And wiped them away with the towel. When he had finished, he thanked her kindly.
Закончив, он любезно поблагодарил ее.
When he had finished, he thanked her kindly. And oiled himself thoroughly.
И хорошенько смазался маслом.
And oiled himself thoroughly. With his jeweled oil can.
Из своей украшенной драгоценными камнями масленки,
With his jeweled oil can. To guard against mishap.
чтобы не попасть в просак.
To guard against mishap. The Scarecrow was now the ruler of the Emerald City.
Страшила теперь был правителем изумрудного города,
The Scarecrow was now the ruler of the Emerald City. And although he was not a wizard.
и хотя он не был волшебником,
And although he was not a wizard. The people were proud of him.
люди гордились им.
The people were proud of him. For, they said.
Ибо, сказали они,
For, they said. There is not another city in all the world.
во всем мире нет другого города,
There is not another city in all the world. That is ruled by a stuffed man.
которым правит чучело.
That is ruled by a stuffed man. And, so far as they knew.
И насколько они знали,
And, so far as they knew. They were quite right.
они были совершенно правы.
They were quite right. The morning after.
На следующее утро после того, как
The morning after. The balloon had gone up with Oz.
воздушный шар поднялся вместе с Оз,
The balloon had gone up with Oz. The four travelers met in the throne room.
4 путешественников встретились в тронном зале.
The four travelers met in the throne room. And talked matters over.
И обсудили дела.
and talked matters over. The Scarecrow sat in the big throne.
Страшила сидел на большом троне,
The Scarecrow sat in the big throne. And the others stood respectfully before him.
а остальные почтительно стояли перед ним.
And the others stood respectfully before him. We are not so unlucky.
Нам не так уж не повезло,
We are not so unlucky, said the new ruler.
сказал новый правитель,
Said the new ruler. For this palace and the Emerald City.
потому что этот дворец и изумрудный город
For this palace and the Emerald City. Belong to us.
принадлежат нам,
Belong to us. And we can do just as we please.
и мы можем делать все, что захотим.
And we can do just as we please. When I remember.
Когда я вспоминаю,
When I remember. That a short time ago I was up on a pole.
что совсем недавно я был на шесте,
That a short time ago I was up on a pole. In a farmer's cornfield.
на фермерском кукурузном поле,
In a farmer's cornfield. And that now I am the ruler of this beautiful city.
и что теперь я правитель этого прекрасного города,
And that now I am the ruler of this beautiful city. I am quite satisfied with my lot.
я вполне доволен своей участью.
I am quite satisfied with my lot. I also.
Я тоже,
I also. Said the Tin Woodman.
сказал железный дровосек,
Said the Tin Woodman. Am well pleased with my new heart.
очень доволен своим новым сердцем.
Am well pleased with my new heart. And, really, that was the only thing.
И действительно, это было единственное,
And, really, that was the only thing. I wished in all the world.
чего я желал во всем мире.
I wished in all the world. For my part, I am content in knowing.
Со своей стороны, я доволен тем,
For my part, I am content in knowing. I am as brave.
что я так же храбр,
I am as brave. As any beast that ever lived.
как любой зверь, который когда-либо жил,
As any beast that ever lived. If not braver.
если не храбрее,
If not braver. Said the lion modestly.
скромно сказал лев.
Said the lion modestly. If Dorothy would only be contented.
Если бы Дороти была довольна.
If Dorothy would only be contented. To live in the Emerald City.
Жизнью в изумрудном городе,
To live in the Emerald City. Continued the Scarecrow.
продолжил Страшила,
Continued the Scarecrow. We might all be happy together.
мы все могли бы быть счастливы вместе.
We might all be happy together. But I don't want to live here.
Но я не хочу здесь жить,
But I don't want to live here. Cried Dorothy.
воскликнула Дороти.
Cried Dorothy. I want to go to Kansas.
Я хочу поехать в Канзас.
I want to go to Kansas. And live with Aunt Em and Uncle Henry.
И жить с тетей Эм и дядей Генри.
And live with Aunt Em and Uncle Henry. Well, then, what can be done?
Ну а что можно сделать?
Well, then, what can be done? Inquired the woodman.
Спросил дровосек.
Inquired the woodman. The Scarecrow decided to think.
Страшила решил подумать,
The Scarecrow decided to think. And he thought so hard.
и подумал он так сильно,
And he thought so hard. That the pins and needles.
что булавки и иголки
That the pins and needles. Began to stick out of his brains.
начали торчать из его мозгов.
Began to stick out of his brains. Finally, he said.
Наконец он сказал,
Finally, he said. Why not call the winged monkeys?
Почему бы не позвать крылатых обезьян?
Why not call the winged monkeys? And ask them to carry you over the desert?
И не попросить их перенести тебя через пустыню?
And ask them to carry you over the desert? I never thought of that.
Я никогда об этом не думала.
I never thought of that, said Dorothy joyfully.
Радостно сказала Дороти.
Said Dorothy joyfully. It's just the thing.
Это же мысль.
It's just the thing. I'll go at once for the golden cap.
Я немедленно пойду за золотой шапкой.
I'll go at once for the golden cap. When she brought it into the throne room.
Когда она внесла его в тронный зал,
When she brought it into the throne room. She spoke the magic words.
она произнесла волшебные слова,
She spoke the magic words. And soon the band of winged monkeys.
и вскоре стая крылатых обезьян
And soon the band of winged monkeys flew in through the open window.
влетела в открытое окно
Flew in through the open window. And stood beside her.
и встала рядом с ней.
And stood beside her. This is the second time you have called us.
Ты уже второй раз зовешь нас.
This is the second time you have called us, said the Monkey King, bowing before the little girl.
Сказал король обезьян, кланяясь девочке.
Said the Monkey King, bowing before the little girl. What do you wish?
Чего изволите?
What do you wish? I want you to fly with me to Kansas.
Я хочу, чтобы вы полетели со мной в Канзас.
I want you to fly with me to Kansas, said Dorothy.
Сказала Дороти.
Said Dorothy. But the Monkey King shook his head.
Но король обезьян покачал головой.
But the Monkey King shook his head. That cannot be done.
Этого нельзя сделать,
That cannot be done. He said.
сказал он.
He said. We belong to this country alone.
Мы принадлежим только этой стране.
We belong to this country alone. And cannot leave it.
И не можем покинуть ее.
And cannot leave it. There has never been a winged monkey in Kansas yet.
В Канзасе еще никогда не было крылатой обезьяны.
There has never been a winged monkey in Kansas yet. And I suppose there never will be.
И я полагаю, никогда не будет.
And I suppose there never will be. For they don't belong there.
Потому что им там не место.
For they don't belong there. We shall be glad to serve you in any way in our power.
Мы будем рады послужить вам, что в наших силах.
We shall be glad to serve you in any way in our power. But we cannot cross the desert.
Но мы не можем пересечь пустыню.
But we cannot cross the desert. Goodbye.
До свидания.
Goodbye. And with another bow.
И еще раз поклонившись,
And with another bow. The Monkey King spread his wings.
король обезьян расправил крылья.
The Monkey King spread his wings. And flew away through the window.
И улетел в окно,
And flew away through the window. Followed by all his band.
а за ним и вся его банда.
Followed by all his band. Dorothy was ready to cry with disappointment.
Дороти была готова расплакаться от разочарования.
Dorothy was ready to cry with disappointment. I have wasted the charm of the golden cap to no purpose.
Я зря растратила заклинание золотой шапочки.
I have wasted the charm of the golden cap to no purpose. She said.
Сказала она.
She said. For the winged monkeys cannot help me.
Потому что крылатые обезьяны не могут мне помочь.
For the winged monkeys cannot help me. It is certainly too bad.
Конечно, очень плохо.
It is certainly too bad, said the tender-hearted woodman.
сказал мягкосердечный дровосек.
said the tender-hearted woodman. The scarecrow was thinking again.
Страшила снова задумался.
The scarecrow was thinking again. And his head bulged out so horribly.
И его голова так ужасно вздулась,
And his head bulged out so horribly. That Dorothy feared it would burst.
что Дороти боялась, что она лопнет.
That Dorothy feared it would burst. Let us call in the soldier with the green whiskers.
Позовем солдата с зелеными бакенбардами.
Let us call in the soldier with the green whiskers. He said,
Сказал он,
he said. And ask his advice.
и спросим его совета.
And ask his advice. So the soldier was summoned.
Итак, солдата призвали,
So the soldier was summoned. And entered the throne room timidly.
и он робко вошел в тронный зал,
And entered the throne room timidly. For while Oz was alive.
ибо пока Оз был жив,
For while Oz was alive. He never was allowed to come farther than the door.
ему никогда не разрешалось проходить дальше двери.
He never was allowed to come farther than the door. This little girl.
Эта маленькая девочка,
This little girl. Said the scarecrow to the soldier.
сказал Страшила солдату,
Said the scarecrow to the soldier. Wishes to cross the desert.
хочет пересечь пустыню.
Wishes to cross the desert. How can she do so?
Как она может это сделать?
How can she do so? I cannot tell.
Не могу сказать,
I cannot tell. Answered the soldier.
ответил солдат,
Answered the soldier. For nobody has ever crossed the desert.
потому что никто никогда не пересекал пустыню,
For nobody has ever crossed the desert. Unless it is Oz himself.
кроме самого Оз.
Unless it is Oz himself. Is there no one who can help me?
Нет никого, кто бы мог мне помочь.
Is there no one who can help me? Asked Dorothy earnestly.
Серьезно спросила Дороти.
Asked Dorothy earnestly. Glinda might.
Глинда могла бы,
Glinda might. He suggested.
предположил он.
He suggested. Who is Glinda?
Кто такая Глинда?
Who is Glinda? Inquired the scarecrow.
Спросил Страшила.
Inquired the scarecrow. The witch of the south.
Ведьма Юга.
The witch of the south. She is the most powerful of all the witches.
Она самая могущественная из всех ведьм.
She is the most powerful of all the witches. And rules over the quadlings.
И правит квадлингами.
And rules over the quadlings. Besides, her castle stands on the edge of the desert.
Кроме того, ее замок стоит на краю пустыни.
Besides, her castle stands on the edge of the desert. So she may know a way to cross it.
Так что она может знать, как ее пересечь.
So she may know a way to cross it. Glinda is a good witch, isn't she?
Глинда добрая ведьма, не так ли?
Glinda is a good witch, isn't she? Asked the child.
Спросил ребенок.
Asked the child. The quadlings think she is good.
Квадлинги считают ее хорошей.
The quadlings think she is good. Said the soldier.
Сказал солдат.
Said the soldier. And she is kind to everyone.
И она добра ко всем.
And she is kind to everyone. I have heard that Glinda is a beautiful woman.
Я слышал, что Глинда красивая женщина.
I have heard that Glinda is a beautiful woman. Who knows how to keep young?
Умеющая сохранять молодость.
Who knows how to keep young? In spite of the many years she has lived.
Несмотря на то, что прожила много лет.
In spite of the many years she has lived. How can I get to her castle?
Как я могу добраться до ее замка?
How can I get to her castle? Asked Dorothy.
Спросила Дороти.
Asked Dorothy. The road is straight to the south.
Дорога прямо на юг.
The road is straight to the south. He answered.
Ответил он.
He answered. But it is said to be full of dangers to travelers.
Но говорят, что она полна опасностей для путников.
But it is said to be full of dangers to travelers. There are wild beasts in the woods.
В лесах водятся дикие звери.
There are wild beasts in the woods. And a race of queer men.
И раса странных людей,
And a race of queer men. Who do not like strangers.
которые не любят, когда чужаки.
Who do not like strangers. To cross their country.
Пересекают их страну.
To cross their country. For this reason none of the quadlings.
По этой причине ни один из квадлингов.
For this reason none of the quadlings. Ever come to the Emerald City.
Никогда не приходил в изумрудный город.
Ever come to the Emerald City. The soldier then left them and the scarecrow said.
Затем солдат оставил их, и Страшила сказал.
The soldier then left them and the scarecrow said. It seems, in spite of dangers.
Кажется, несмотря на опасности,
It seems, in spite of dangers. That the best thing Dorothy can do.
это лучшее, что может сделать Дороти,
That the best thing Dorothy can do. Is to travel to the land of the south.
это отправиться в страну юга.
Is to travel to the land of the south. And ask Glinda to help her.
И попросить Глинду помочь ей.
And ask Glinda to help her. For, of course, if Dorothy stays here.
Конечно, если Дороти останется здесь,
For, of course, if Dorothy stays here. She will never get back to Kansas.
она никогда не вернется в Канзас.
She will never get back to Kansas. You must have been thinking again.
Вы, похоже, снова задумали,
You must have been thinking again. Remarked the Tin Woodman.
заметил железный дровосек.
Remarked the Tin Woodman. I have.
Я да,
I have. Said the Scarecrow.
сказал Страшила.
Said the Scarecrow. I shall go with Dorothy.
Я пойду с Дороти,
I shall go with Dorothy. Declared the Lion.
заявил лев,
Declared the Lion. For I am tired of your city.
потому что я устал от вашего города.
For I am tired of your city. And long for the woods and the country again.
И снова хочу в лес и в деревню.
And long for the woods and the country again. I am really a wild beast, you know.
Я действительно дикий зверь, знаете ли.
I am really a wild beast, you know. Besides, Dorothy will need someone to protect her.
Кроме того, Дороти понадобится кто-то, кто защитит ее.
Besides, Dorothy will need someone to protect her. That is true.
Это так.
That is true. Agreed the woodman.
Согласился дровосек.
Agreed the woodman. My axe may be of service to her.
Мой топор может ей пригодиться.
My axe may be of service to her. So I also will go with her to the land of the south.
Так что я тоже пойду с ней в страну юга.
So I also will go with her to the land of the south. When shall we start?
Когда отправимся?
When shall we start? Asked the Scarecrow.
Спросил Страшила.
Asked the Scarecrow. Are you going?
Ты идешь?
Are you going? They asked, in surprise.
Удивленно спросили они.
They asked, in surprise. Certainly.
Безусловно.
Certainly. If it wasn't for Dorothy.
Если бы не Дороти,
If it wasn't for Dorothy, I should never have had brains.
У меня никогда не было бы мозгов.
I should never have had brains. She lifted me from the pole in the cornfield.
Она сняла меня с шеста на кукурузном поле.
She lifted me from the pole in the cornfield and brought me to the Emerald City.
И принесла в изумрудный город.
And brought me to the Emerald City. So my good luck is all due to her.
Так что моя удача целиком принадлежит ей.
So my good luck is all due to her. And I shall never leave her.
И я никогда не оставлю ее.
And I shall never leave her. Until she starts back to Kansas for good and all.
Пока она не уедет обратно в Канзас.
Until she starts back to Kansas for good and all. Thank you.
Спасибо.
Thank you. Said Dorothy gratefully.
С благодарностью сказала Дороти.
Said Dorothy gratefully. You are all very kind to me.
Вы все очень добры ко мне.
You are all very kind to me. But I should like to start as soon as possible.
Но я хотела бы отправиться как можно скорее.
But I should like to start as soon as possible. We shall go tomorrow morning.
Отправимся завтра утром.
We shall go tomorrow morning. Returned the Scarecrow.
Ответил Страшила.
Returned the Scarecrow. So now let us all get ready.
Итак, теперь давайте все приготовимся.
So now let us all get ready. For it will be a long journey.
Ибо это будет долгое путешествие.
For it will be a long journey.